Hi, my name is Klaja, and this is the Strymon Iridium. Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning into my channel. Now, like I said in the beginning, in this video we will be looking at the Strymon Iridium. And let me start by explaining what this pedal actually does. Right here on the front it says amp and IR cap. And that's exactly what it is. In this pedal you have an amp and a cap in a room. And that is pretty cool because that allows you to, say, go to a gig or go to the studio and not bring your amps. All you need is the pedal here because the amps and the caps are actually built in. I will get back to the room in a short while, but let me just run through some of the features here. First of all, you have the amp switch right here, and that lets you choose between 3 amps. Now, at the moment it's set on the round setting, and that is emulating a Fender Deluxe reverb, and it sounds like this. Pretty cool. Now let's look into some of the controls here. The first one is called drive, and that is like the gain knob on an amp, and that lets you determine how much gain you get. It sounds like this when you turn it. And as you can tell, because this is emulating a clean Fender amp, I can turn the drive all the way up and the amp is still almost clean. Now, we have a bass, middle and a treble control here, and they work just like a bass, middle and treble control on an amp, but there are a few exceptions. And when you are on the round setting right here, the middle control actually does something special to the sound. If you turn it down like this, you will get a more mid-scooped sound, and if you turn the control up like this, it is supposed to go into a more tweed era kind of sound, and I think they hit that quite well. Right, the treble control is of course just the treble control. Now the level control up here determines how much signal is coming out of the pedal, and now I'm going to leave that right there because it's matched up to the audio interface. The room control, now that is interesting. The room control is not a typical reverb. It's not supposed to emulate the reverb inside of an amp. It's supposed to emulate the amp in the room. So you get the sensation of standing with the amp in the room when you turn up the room control. Now the control here determines how much room you will hear. And it sounds like this. Right now it's at 12 o'clock. I will turn it down. And that is a pretty cool feature. Now, the song in the beginning of the video, when I recorded that using the Strymon Iridium, I did not use any reverbs inside of the computer. I just used the room control, and I think that sounded pretty cool. Right, let's try out one of the other amps. I'm going to switch to the chime, like this. The chime is emulating the brilliant channel of a VOX AC30, and it sounds something like this. Now I haven't touched any of the EQ controls yet, and I will get back to that in just a second. Now let me try to switch between some of the impulse responses on this amp. Right now it's on the A setting. Let's go to the B. And finally the C. Yeah, pretty cool. It makes a significant difference switching between those impulse responses, which of course are different cabs and different speakers and different mics. Let me get back to the A setting. Now the EQ control has actually changed a little bit now, because the middle control here is the equivalent of the tone cut on a VOX AC30. So when you turn it down, it sounds like this. And back up. I think that sounds pretty good, and it's a very useful feature. And something else has actually happened to the drive knob. When the drive knob is somewhere around 2 o'clock, like now, it's equivalent to the AC30 being maxed out. But if you turn it up even further, the pedal actually adds a small booster in front of the amp, so you can get more overdrive, and it sounds like this. Yeah, I really like that. It's like putting a boost pedal in front of the amp, but inside the Strymon Iridium. Pretty cool. Now I'm just going to turn the drive knob back to the 2 o'clock position, because now I'm going to switch to the punch setting here, and that emulates a Marshall Plexi 100 watts. And once again, I'm just going to leave the EQ setting right there. Let's get some middle in that tone. Let's try switching the cabs here. Let's go to the B setting. And the C setting. Yeah, pretty cool. Now, I actually forgot to mention a thing about the room control, because you can switch between 3 different room sizes. I'm not going to do that right now, but you have the option to switch between room sizes. And right now the pedal is on the middle room size, but you can do that. It's pretty cool as well. Back to the controls of the punch setting here. Just like on the chime setting, when the drive control is at 2 o'clock, it's the equivalent of the Marshall amp being maxed out on the gain. And if you turn it up more than that, you will add a booster in front of it. So let's check that out. Yeah, that is pretty rock and roll tone right there, I think. When I recorded the song in the beginning of the video, I used the Strymon Iridium all by itself for all the rhythm guitars. So all the rhythm parts that you can hear in that song are recorded only with the Strymon Iridium, with different on different amps and different cabs and different settings. For all the lead parts, I added another pedal. Let me just get that. It's this one. It's a Carl Martin DC drive, and I chose this pedal because it is extremely simple tone drive and level control, so it would have the least amount of impact on the Strymon Iridium. But you can put your entire pedal board in front of this pedal, and it will handle that just as well, and that is pretty sweet. Now, as you can probably tell, this pedal has a million features, and this video would be extremely long if we had to go through all of them. But there are a few more that I want to mention. First of all, you can actually load your own impulse responses into this pedal. All it requires is a computer and a USB cable, and then you will download a small piece of software from Strymon, and that lets you add in your own impulse responses. Now, one thing that could be extremely cool was that if Strymon would let you switch out the amps as well, but that is not a feature yet, and I do not know if it will ever be a feature, but it would be cool. The final thing I want to mention are the foot switches down here. There is an on-off switch, and then there's this favorite switch that lets you store one preset inside the pedal. So I could store this preset, and I could turn all the knobs to another setting that I wanted and play with that, and when I push the favorite knob, the pedal would return to the previous settings that I just stored. Now, you can actually buy a small foot switch from Strymon and hook up to the pedal that has 4 switches on it, and that allows you, of course, to store 4 presets. Or this pedal actually runs on MIDI as well, and that allows you to store 300 presets inside of the pedal. Alright, that's it, folks. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed that. It was the Strymon Iridium. If you want to know more, please head over to the Strymon website. I will leave a link in the description below, and you can read all about these fantastic features that are hidden inside of this pedal. Right, thanks so much for watching. I hope I will see you again, and until then, stay cool.